Victor. I'm here with a new Ask Victor video. This time I will not do it live because I'm not used yet to the new live system, and to save time I prefer to do it. I want to record as I used to do in the old times. I will try to come live soon, but yeah, I want to get used first to this new system. So this is a video where I answer the questions that were dropped in the messages of the Ask Victor of the previous month. I do it at the middle of every month, can be between the 15, 16, 14, 17, depending a little bit on the month, and I go through the questions. You can do any type of questions that you like to do to me, and I will answer them. So if you want this series to continue, drop some questions in the comments below, and I will answer them in the Ask Victor of the next month. So this month I have just a couple of persons making me questions, but there are quite a good number of questions, so I will go through that. Before starting, if you want to support this channel, please don't forget to give a like, leave the comment on the question in the comments below. This is very much appreciated, and if you want, you also can support me in Patreon, or I have some merchandise that I'm selling as well. Yeah, that's all, and let's start now with the questions of the last month. Let's start with the video. So the first questions are from Wee Ebenholz, and he says, "Hey Victor, my comments and questions." So there are 4 points. The first one is airbrush. I personally always like that you never use an airbrush, mainly because I have none and I will not be able to follow the steps. So I always hate when people use them in tutorials. I know this is very selfish of me, but I'm quite a selfish person, so what can I say? And then as a smile, to be honest, I will not listen to people like me in this case, since you already said an airbrush might improve your creativity, and no one should deny that to you. Yeah, airbrush was a topic that we discussed in the previous Ask Victor. It's something that I've been thinking around. I think, yeah, can improve the creativity, can also speed up when you're doing things like this, right? When you're doing big things. This is small terrain, but I have all the terrain, so this can speed up painting terrain. Although with just regular cans, you can do shading, so you can pre-shade everything. This is just done with zenithal priming, and you can have a nice starting point where you can start applying washes and some, yeah, and apply. You don't need to start from completely zero. Let's see if I can put it back to the box. So yeah, airbrush is something that I'm still thinking. I don't think will come soon. Well, I mean soon. I don't think will come in the next month, but maybe in Christmas period. I need to think about that. I need to get more information and make and set up my mind. Even if I have airbrush, I will keep doing miniature painting only with brush, so I don't think I will start doing airbrush directly on the channel. And even if I have a good control in the future on the airbrush, I will always try to keep some tutorials only for brush, because I know some people only work with brushes, they don't have airbrush, so I want to keep this basic. So don't worry, I will always keep some tutorials only with airbrush, without using airbrush. So let's go to the second point, and this is about Eisenhower TV cooperation with Bandai etc. Okay, so this is not just about Eisenhower TV, it's also the cooperation with Bandai, I get the Funko Pops and all these type of things. I'm afraid about this. Games Workshop is a corporation on the stock market, and they are doing fine. My fear is that the more public visible they become, the higher the chance that majority of their shares get bought by a single entity. If I remember correctly, Games Workshop say they themselves own less than 50% of the overall shares. That switches the focus to money grabbing, or wants to buy the intellectual properties, by which in the end our hobby, at least a great company, gets destroyed. What do you think? I don't know. Yeah, This is a very deep question. I think if they don't expand, okay, they are in risk of disappearing, right? They need to always try to catch new people. I think the hobby will evolve, as have evolved a lot in techniques. I hope they keep the point of the company is they should keep the core, right? They are not a video games company. They are licensing that. They are not a TV show company, right? They are a miniatures company. If they deviate from the core, then they are risking as a company, and they will start losing consumers, and they will drop. So they are not interested. So I think they will keep the core business, that is selling miniatures and tabletop games. But yeah, let's see. I think for me it's a good point that I'm not sure about the Bandai. I will not buy that, but it looks quite a curious thing to do. I think I'm very interested in the Eisenhorn TV show. I think this can be very interesting to attract other people to the hobby, and I think the people that at the end have some passion, they enjoy this hobby. They enjoy the fact of painting miniatures. They enjoy the fact of of this gaming, right? Of all this hobby stuff. And other people will enjoy just the gaming as today, and then they will need to find people to paint, or they will paint with some painting miniatures. What is very interesting from Games Workshop compared to the other people that are licensing Game of Thrones or Star Wars, Games Workshop is doing the opposite of these people, right? Some companies has bought, it's the opposite. So Games Workshop is doing here the opposite of the Lord of the Rings, right? A Lord of the Rings, you take something that is very popular for a lot of people, and you create a game, and you try to drag people that love this film into the game, right? This is the intention. This is why you use Star Wars, or why you use I don't know, Game of Thrones, or why you use Lord of the Rings, right? You take a popular TV show that is more or less related to this fantasy sci-fi, and then you use this branding to try to drag people that are not interested normally in the games into that. Okay, Games Workshop, for me, what is interesting is that it's doing the opposite now, right? And they have been the opposite. They have been doing the opposite with Warhammer 40k. And what is the advantage of that? Is that you don't depend on paying the license to another company, right? It's the other way around. So the other companies will need to pay the license to you to do the video games or to do the TV show. Of course, going to a TV show and the mainstream media, it's very difficult, but they have been quite successful with Dawn of War, for example. And I don't think, for example, Dawn of War was negative. It bring new people to the miniature gaming. I think all will come on the CEO, as we have seen, right? How strong is the CEO, and if they manage to keep doing good numbers, they will keep progressing. If they just go to money grab without any sense, they will start losing consumers, and this will end bad for the company. So it's not that easy to say just money grab and I go on that direction, because then you start losing consumers, and your money grab is make you to lose share in the market to another company. I think now wargaming is very mature. There are a lot of companies. There is some competition, some interesting competition, and this makes the companies to be very aware and very cautious of the choices they do. I think this is very positive. I think Games Workshop in the last 2 years have done the right movements. For me, it makes sense to try to explore other medias, try to take other consumers into the games. I think the TV show is something that a lot of followers and a lot of supporters were looking for, a film or TV show, and we never have to forget that a lot of people, some people came from the other way around, from the computer gaming, they jump into the miniature gaming. So let's see where the future goes, but I'm not that. Of course, a company that is depending on shareholders, they will always have this uncertainty, right? They will always can have the risk of that a big owner or a big group of shareholders buy a lot of shares, and then they start dictating the direction or the strategy of the company. This can happen right now. This can happen in any company. These are risks that all the companies go, and I think this is why the CEO of a company is so important. is the guy that have to guide the right strategy and have to convince the shareholders, because today they also have shareholders, right? And I'm pretty sure there are some big shareholders there as well. So he has to convince the shareholders that they are going in that direction. And the way to do it is as they do now, giving good numbers. If the numbers start going poor, like was before, more likely the CEO will need to be changed, and then they will need to think in a different strategy. Let's see. It's difficult to predict. Then we go to the next one, Cities of Sigmar. Will you buy it? Are you excited about some Free People miniatures? I will buy the book. This is sure. So that I like to collect the books, so I will buy the book. I'm very interested to understand how the regular humans are living in the Age of Sigmar, in this world, to understand how the cities look like. We have seen some here and there, but it will be very interesting to have more background, more knowledge about the cities, how they interact with the elf, with the dwarves, and with all the other races and type of creatures that are around there. So yeah, it's an interesting book for me. I don't think I will start a new army, if this is the question. So I will buy the book, I will read the background. In short term, I will not start a new army. I have enough armies, and I have and all depends, unless the static is completely different. But at this moment, I'm not thinking to start a new army. But I find it very interesting, and I really looking forward to see what Games Workshop will give to us on the Cities of Sigmar. And the last point is holidays. Yes, I almost forgot about my holidays right now. Did you enjoy them? Where have you been? And did you find anything that inspired you for new ideas in the hobby? Okay, so I've been. I enjoyed a lot my holidays. I think it was a very relaxing time. I went to Spain. I'm from Catalonia in Spain. So I went first to the Valencian country, and specifically I went to the province of Alicante, very close to Benidorm. So it's called Vila Joyosa or Vila Joyosa, depending on the language. I just been doing. I was renting just a bungalow. I spent some family days and doing type of family activities. We went to the type of water slider park. We visited the zoo. We went to beach. It was a lot of relaxing. So not to. We visit some villages around there, but nothing. Yeah, I did not make any video this time. Sorry for that, but. Yeah, my phone was not working well, and I had not done nothing special. So I was when I go to the beach, I like to the port. I like to look at the ships, and this is a thing that is interesting for me to see how the rust is happening on ships, right? But I forgot to make pictures this time. I always go around. I always find also. Then my second part of the holidays, I went to the area of Girona. Okay, Girona is a city where they have filmed some scenes, I think, from the Game of Thrones. Okay, it's a city that have yeah. I was in the province, so I spent one day in Girona, another day in I visited also a village called Pals there. They have a lot of almost medieval type of buildings. Girona have a lot of that. Have the old cathedral, and then have the city walls, and have a lot. It's a very nice city to have a walk, and there you can see a lot of inspiring things in architecture, right? But this time I have not made a video on that neither. Sorry for that. But it was very interesting. I recommend if you can visit Girona. Is a nice city to visit. You can do a tour of one day, and think one day visit should be enough. But it's you can spend even more time if you want, but one day you can really feel the city. I recommend to do the tour on the city wall, at least the short one. You can see the city from above, the cathedral, and all the Jewish neighborhood, It's a really nice city to visit, and I visited this. It's been for a long time that I was not visiting this city, and I always enjoy when I go there. Okay, yeah, and I was doing as well beach and swimming pool all these days, and I eat too much as well. I take the advantage to eat a lot of fish. Yeah, each time I go to Spain, I change my diet from more to have more fish than meat. That is the opposite that I'm normally doing when I'm in Belgium. Okay, so yeah, I visit back, of course, my parents as well. So it was a family time, and I really enjoyed. And yeah, maybe I should do another these of inspirational videos. I forgot about that this time. I was more in a family mood, and I did not do too much channel while I was on holidays. So I did all the videos before leaving. I programmed them in YouTube and let them go, not to avoid to have a long gap without videos in my channel. But in that time I did not record too many. I did not record videos at all, like I did the other time. But maybe, yeah, in future I should go. I should do another. Yeah, it's a missed opportunity because Girona is really a nice village to do a small talk about that. Okay, I think this is for me the things, but I really enjoy it. And if you have the opportunity to go to Catalonia, let me know because I can recommend you some places to visit. And as well, yeah, in Spain in general, there are so very nice cities and old architecture that it's all, almost in any region of Spain you can find castles, old architecture from the Middle Age, as well from the Gothic age, and you can find, yeah, it's almost in any part of Spain. But I really cities that in Catalonia I love a lot. Girona, I also like a lot Tarragona with all the Roman ruins. So there is always some interesting things to visit. Let's go to the next person that put questions. This is Vince Venturella, and say, hey Victor, here are my questions. What do you think of the Cities of Sigmar book? Excited to see so much of the existing old armies hit the table. As I said before, it's something that I really want to see. What this brings. I'm more interested to see what this brings to the hobby and to the history than really in collecting an army, right? Because I will not rebase my Dogs of War, even if they can be played as the and I will not rebase my Bretonnian either. So the Bretonnian and my Dogs of War will keep in a square basis. Just in one day I want to go back to the 9th Age and play some games. Okay, but I'm interested to see what comes and how the humans will look like in future. This is the most interesting thing because I always like to see how the humans are represented in each of these fantasy worlds. Let's go to the second question. What additional fantasy creature type would you like to see in Age of Sigmar? Example, currently there isn't much in the way of werewolf, mummies, satyrs, etc. What would you hope they eventually include? Yeah, I'm very curious to know, to see more the undead, for example, from Egyptian, right? The mummies is something interesting, but there is not too much about Asian mythology, right? And in Asian mythology there are sometimes some creatures that can be interesting. The undead from the Japanese people, these are quite scary as well. The undead from the Chinese culture. But for me, the creatures I always love and I never have enough is the dragons. So the dragons are something that I would like to see another dragon for the good guys, right? That we used to have on the elves. And with all the techniques they have to sculpt plastic, I think will be great to have a nice dragon. Dragons is always something that I'm not tired of. Werewolves is something interesting, but yeah, I don't know. I'm always open to see what Games Workshop can bring to the table, right? Because they have created so a peculiar mythology in Age of Sigmar they create their own creatures, they create their own monsters. There are most of them hybrids. Yeah, another monster that I like a lot is I like a lot from Dungeons and Dragons are the Dracolich. But yeah, but this is like the zombie dragon. Yeah, I don't know, to be fair. I'm thinking no, not too much into werewolves. An army of vampires will be nice. I think an army of undead vampires. I think in the death faction there is a lot of things that can be explored, right? You can do faction more like the Egyptian looking like. You can mix Egyptian with Assyrian. Okay, the Japanese is more on the Nighthound, so this is a little bit covered there. Yeah, I think I would like to see. I'm not to say monsters. I like to see theme armies, and I want to see this how they will evolve. I always like it a lot. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, but if I have to choose creators, one thing I would like to see is a new miniature of a giant, maybe. And then we have now the Star Drake for the Stormcast Eternals. I would like to see more drakes, more dragons, more of this type of creatures. And then we go to and why not to see one of these gargantuous creatures, right? But this is more for Forge World. One of these behemoths. Yeah. Let's see, I'm always open to surprises from Games Workshop. They always try, from time to time, they really surprise me with the aesthetics they go for. I was not expecting a giant flying turtle, for example. Yeah, let's go to the last question of this Ask Victor, and is if you do some Chaos Knights, any thoughts on a house alignment color scheme? Ooh. Chaos Knights. I have a lot of those now that I want to do these guys. The Iron Golems. I think all depends on the thematic. These ones at the end I don't want to do them red, so I will go for a combination of Cooper. I like a lot the craziness of Thench and go with blues, greens and purples. It will depend a lot on the god that I would like to follow. And to be fair, if I go for Chaos, I have a lot of Khorne, but I will say one of my favorite gods is Slaanesh. So if you go for Slaanesh, I will go for a lot of purple and pink colors on Age of Sigmar. So I think this will be most likely will be something that I'm not explode that much. It's going to be more on the purples, pinkish. If I go to Thench, purple with blue, maybe turquoise. Yeah, I don't know because I just did my Stonecast on this green color, so I will keep more between the blue, purple with touches of pink if it's Thench. On Khorne I go quite basic. I go for flat metal, dark metal. I prefer this than red, and then use the red only on the clothes. And for Nurgle, yeah, it's rust and greens and browns and ochres, right? All depends on the god that you want to do. If I just want to do generic ones, it also depends a lot on the aesthetic on the armor. Because the generic chaos can be done in any color, right? You can do very nice glazes with purples to make them look more Slaanesh. You can do glazes with blue to make them look more Thench. You can, for Khorne you can go to red, or you can leave them also with a very dark metal, like almost black. It depends a lot. For example, if you have the barbarians like these guys, you just go with this type of ochres, browns, leather colors. So I don't know. I have not think about an army on Chaos. to be fair, and I don't think I will do generic chaos at this moment. Unless I have to go for Slaanesh, and if I go for Slaanesh, more likely we'll focus on the demons, right? On the units that are in the book. So, yeah, no, I don't have a color scheme for chaos at this moment for Chaos Knights. If I do the Ever-Chosen, I'm thinking if I do the Ever-Chosen, I think I will go for a very dark purple, riveted with gold. Dark purple, almost black, with gold in the rivets. Okay, maybe you can then play with the tonalities, right? You can make some more, you can play with or you can go black. This is one option that I like as well on Chaos Undivided. You go black and then you highlight depending on the alliance of the unit that you want to use on the mark, right? You can highlight on purplish colors for Thange, you can highlight for Slaanesh, you can highlight more bluish, this black for Thange, you can highlight on reddish colors for Khorne, and you can highlight with greenish colors, because the black, the advantage I like from black is you can highlight it, and with this highlight and with the color from with the black to greens to blues to purples. I like a lot to do that. And I think if I want to do Chaos Undivided, I think this is the direction I would like to take. So I will go black and then play with the highlights of this black to give more a look. And maybe inside of the unit, although they will not, you keep the coherency, giving the gold rivet, giving the black as a base color, but then you can highlight and even do some touches on the clothes depending on the alliance each warrior wants to follow. I think this can be interesting. Not a uniform color, just have a uniform color, but then give a little bit of personality to each miniature, depending on the god that he wants to pray to. And I think that's all. That's all what I want to talk here. I hope you find this as Victor interesting. Please leave questions in the comments below if you like this show and if you would like this to continue. I don't want to keep it longer, and yeah, and as usual, I want to thank all the Vince Venturella and as well we Evenholz to leave these questions. They are very useful, they were very interesting, they also make me think, and I like to think them on the fly as I'm answering as I'm doing the video, because I think this is more spontaneous and I think makes more sense for me. Yeah, that's all for now. Yeah, give a like if you have liked this video. As I said, leave comments, questions in the comments below so I can follow up with this, I can follow with this series. And that's all for now. As usual, thanks a lot for watching and see you again later. Bye!